Hey there. Okay, so in our quest to start putting an end to Dash's relentless jumping on you, we started with developing two things during the last visit. One was attention, getting his attention. So what we wanted you to do was anytime that he looked at you without you asking him to, or when you ask him to, spontaneously or as a result of something you said, you either give him a quick treat if you have one available, or you give him a quick pet, just some kind of positive reinforcement for his attention to you. Same thing with sitting. You are teaching him to sit on command, and he's already gotten pretty good at it. But if you turn around and he's just sitting because he's trying to get something from you, or he just looks at you and sits, we don't care why. If you have a treat, give him a treat. If you don't have a treat, give him some positive reinforcement, some love, quick love, and be done. So the idea is that what he's learning is that with or without a command, when he does these things, pays attention to you or puts his butt on the floor, he gets some kind of positive response from you. So you've been doing that, and one of the things that you're finding as you start to build sit and use sit to interrupt his jumping, one of the things you said you found was that he's very mindful of whether there's a treat or not. So it's hard to get him to sit without a treat, and even after he sits, he springs back into the jump. So here's phase 2. We want to keep working on his sit, just little practice sessions with treats. Sit, sit, sit. We want his sit to become very automatic. So keep working on that. But now we're going to fold in the second part, which is that we are going to turn that sit into what we call a sit-stay. We're not using the word stay, but we're going to create a stay by teaching him a release word. So stay with me here. We tell him to sit. He doesn't get any reward because he already knows how to sit. And then we have him sit for a few seconds, and then we teach him the word break. And break, you're going to see me when I'm teaching him, I have his leash on and I pull him, because dogs don't know what break means. So I'm going to pull him to show him. He gets a reward after the break. If he breaks early, I don't correct him and I don't say sit again. I just give him hand signals and spatial pressure. I get him back into a sit without any commands, rewards, or punishment. And then I go back to the break. So it's a two-step command. It's sit, and then pause, and then break. So as he learns that sequence, break is just as important as the sit, because the break is what gives him context. Okay, she told me to sit, and I have to wait until she tells me to break. And when you tell him to break, that's when he gets all the positive reinforcement, okay? So let me show you. He has only done it once or twice because I was experimenting, so he still doesn't know how to do it, but I want you to see me doing it with him in a raw way so that it will look more like what you experienced. Okay, come here, boo-boo. So we put the leash on with his collar. Now, he knows I have treats. That's fine. He's sitting. That's good. I'm not going to say anything. I'm just going to give him, because he sat. Now, he's in a seated position, so I have two oh, there we go. I was going to say I have two choices. I can get him up and move him around and tell him to sit again, or I can just go straight to break. But let's do it the old-fashioned way. Come here, buddy. Sit. Yes. No treat. Now, I walk around a little bit. If he gets up early, I step toward him and I give him the hand signal to put him back down. Here he goes again. So what I'm saying to him is back to the sit, back to the sit. I don't speak to him. Break, good boy, good boy. So notice I'm very sure when I say break to give him a tug, to show him what it means, right? Let's do that again. Hey buddy, sit. Yes. So I give him some reinforcement with the yes, but I don't give him love or a treat. Step toward him and give him the hand signal. He broke early. He's breaking early again. I don't care, I'll do this 10 times. But what he's telling me by getting up so many times is that he only has just so much endurance right now. Break, good boy. Good boy, buddy. So what we're teaching him is not just that he has to sit, but he has to sit and wait for the next command. Come here, boo-boo. Come here, boo-boo. Good boy, sit. Yes. So as we practice this with him, you can see him thinking. He's rocking back and forth. As we practice this with him, our goal is to get him to sit for longer and longer periods of time before we break him. So notice I'm using the leash to help me there. You saw I wasn't letting him flee. Use the leash again. So this way I can apply spatial pressure and he can't really leave me. He's looking at the plumber outside. So I need to get his attention. Yes. Notice I don't say his name. So he's really distracted right now, so this is good. You get to see me have to deal with that. Yes. Now, because there's a distraction right outside the window, I'm not going to expect him to stay as long. Break! Good boy, break. Now, he was hesitant to break that time, so I pulled him. We've got to use the leash to ensure that he executes the break, because he has to learn what break means. Remember, break is just as important as sit. Let's do it once more, big boy. You good boy. You ready, Dash? Sit. Yes. 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 Break. Good. See how slow he is? Break. Good boy. If I have to drag him over to me, I will. We need to get him up out of that sit position. So the idea now is that instead of just having him sit, when you tell him to sit, we're teaching him you need to sit and wait there until I tell you to break. This will, as we start to develop this, just in practice, don't expect this to work right away in a real world situation where he's jumping, but I want you at least 3 times a day for about 5 minutes to do the exercise that you just saw me do, where you tell him to sit, you don't give him any rewards. You can say yes or good when he sits. But you use the leash, use whatever you can. If he gets up early, you just give him the signal, step toward him. Just calmly put him back down in a sit as many times as you need to so that he holds it for a few seconds, and then you say break. And you make him break. Pull him to you if you need to, and when the break is done, that's when we really celebrate. So he gets all the treats in the party after the break, okay? So 3 times a day for about 5 minutes each time. And then eventually, after several days of practice, you can start using it when he jumps. Maybe 2 or 3 days. We'll see. You can try it, but I don't want you to get frustrated if it doesn't work in the real world yet, because the sit-stay combo takes longer to learn than the sit, obviously. So we need to just give it time and test it and, 2 steps forward, 1 step back, so on. Okay, over and out.